What's up, guys? It's your boy Spider Productions here, and today we are here with the next episode or video from New Rockstars, episode 2 of Obi-Wan KENOBI Breakdown. I watched the first episode breakdown the other day, so now we're going to watch the second one, and we're going to see what he gives us in the second video. So without further ado, let's check it out.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of Obi-Wan KENOBI Episode 2. Let's break down all the details you missed, from how Reva knew Vader was Anakin, why the Grand Inquisitor isn't dead, and did Mark Hamill show up in this episode? We open on Daiyu as Obi-Wan's Starliner arrives through the thick green bark of the planet. Daiyu is a new planet to Star Wars, and the arrivals and departure board, as all the signs are in this episode, are in the language of Orbesh. In this case, most of the words reading Starliner with various different numbers and destinations. Further back, behind Obi-Wan, as he walks off the liner, written in blue, is a sign that reads machinery and radar maintenance, I think. I'm gonna try my best to translate all these. The deck officer tells Obi-Wan,
"You're in Daiyu now. All signals in or out are blocked. People like their secrets out here."
Now, the show's designers say they based Daiyu on the city of Hong Kong. Maybe a little commentary here about how, these days, connectivity is a bit jammed in that part of the world. The wide street shot shows more Orbesh, market, Gungan snacks, bank, and milk. We know from Phantom Menace that Gungans like Jar Jar love to snack. Then he comes across this familiar face.
Help a veteran get a warm meal.
Yes, this is Tamir Morrison as a clone trooper, but this is not Rex. This guy's blue armor makes him a member of the 501st, and Rex broke off with Ahsoka to form the 332nd, who painted their helmets orange to honor her. Now, there are not many clone troopers left ever since Tarkin decommissioned them, as we saw during Bad Batch. This clone trooper may have been part of that massacre of the Jedi Temple, and now just feels broken and depressed, racked with guilt. Or maybe he's a clone trooper who defected from that mission and was ostracized. Either way, give this guy a miniseries. I want to know his story. Obi-Wan eyes him apprehensively, seeing both part of the group who slaughtered his fellow Jedi and the face of Commander Cody, his clone trooper companion, who shot at him. He meets this young female spice dealer.
I was someone's daughter once too.
Yeah, this is a fun little wink because she is played by Esther Rose McGregor, Ewan McGregor's real-life daughter.
Yeah. Her
character's name is Tetha Grigg, a derivative of her name, and she offers him some spice.
I got Kessel, Pure, Glitter Stem, and Felution.
Kessel Pure means it comes directly from the spice mines of Kessel, a location we visited in Solo, and the endpoint of the Kessel Run. Glitter Stem is a form of spice often mentioned in Star Wars lore, produced from the webs of spice spiders, and Felucian means it comes from Felucia, the planet with interesting plant life where Aayla Secura was gunned down in Order 66. Kumail Nanjiani plays Haja Estri, a con artist who pretends to be a Jedi. Notice how he wears a huge fake lightsaber out in front of his robes. Yes, it's super obvious, and that's the point, because Jedi are always supposed to hide their lightsabers beneath their robes. If he was a real Jedi, it wouldn't be out in the open like that. He gets them safe passage to the planet Corellia, which is the home planet of Han Solo that we saw at the beginning of Solo. After the woman thanks him, Kumail does this hilarious, impatient, cough it up gestures with his hand.
It's all there.
Oh, you didn't have to.
Every credit.
And then notice how he counts it coin for coin, despite pretending not to care. Obi-Wan exposes him.
But in my experience, rats know more about the sewers than anyone else.
Yeah, I like how in this episode we're back to seeing Blade Runner Obi-Wan from Attack of the Clones, a guy who was not afraid to explore the underworld to locate his target. They pass some more signs, some translate to SW Milk, made for Star Wars Milk, and then a red sign for Sabacc. That, of course, is a Star Wars card game. Actually, later in this episode, you see the same sign at the bottom, having a whole hand of Sabacc cards, and then even later in the episode, we see Haja playing a solitaire variant of the game. And then in this alley in purple, there's a sign for a club called The Den, and another sign in green, Wine. Ben twists his beard hair as he scopes out this alley. It's actually the same gesture Alec Guinness did in A New Hope, and Ewan McGregor mirrored this in the final scene of Revenge of the Sith, his way of showing that he's starting to age up and transform into that era of the character. Now, this hooded man walks past Obi-Wan on the left side of the screen, and yeah, he looks a lot like Mark Hamill. Hamill has cameoed in these live-action Disney Plus Star Wars shows before. He did voice the bartender droid in The Mandalorian. Now, if this is him, we shouldn't overthink it. Luke is not time traveling here. Star Wars has looser logic rules for cameos. Like, remember, E.T. showed up in Revenge of the Sith. Ben enters the spice processing lab looking like a meth lab. I like how smoothly he pickpockets the spice from the guard as he brushes past him. Ben then tussles with more guards in the corridor, including a Zabrak, and if you watch this very closely, even though Ben is super out of shape, and that's really fun to watch as he takes all these hits, it's not that his hand is just weak when he punches them. If you look closely, he cuts his hand on one of the Zabrak's horns. Something I always wish we would have seen with Maul's horns. Now, last episode showed a hooded Leia revealed to actually be a decoy, and this episode keeps up that game, but in this case, it's a trap for Ben. But Ben is prepared for this.
You're bleeding all over my floor.
Well, everybody bleeds.
Yeah, I love this line because Obi-Wan has always been around for the most visceral violence in Star Wars. His scuffle with Ponda Baba, slicing Maul in half, shooting Grievous's heart out, and of course, high grounding Anakin. And then later, Reva finds her kidnappers as high as Obi-Wan's ground is. And I think this is the first time in Star Wars we've seen characters truly high on spice. And I love this. When Obi-Wan finds Leia, he leans forward toward her in the same exact pose that matches Leia's pose when asking Obi-Wan to help via R2's holo recorder, even the same kind of blue lighting covering them both. I just love that we finally get to see these two characters together. A major character pairing that we've never gotten before, as the two of them never really shared a moment together in A New Hope. He says,
Your father sent me. I'm here to help you.
Where's the army?
yeah, the moment kind of mirrors Luke rescuing her in A New Hope.
Too short for a stormtrooper?
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Reva meets up with the other Inquisitors, now joined by the fourth sister, a character whose armor actually shows up in the Return to the Vader's Castle comics. Worn as a disguise by Rebel Commander Lena Graff, Reva says,
I found a link between him and Organa in the archives. I used the girl as bait.
that link in the Jedi archives that the Inquisitors now have access to might have been Bail Organa visiting the Jedi Temple on the night of Order 66 before poor young Zet Jukasa died protecting him, or it might have also been Obi-Wan's and Bail's Christophsis venture in Clone Wars. The Grand Inquisitor says,
Whatever power you are craving, it will not change what you are.
And what is that?
The least of us.
I took the liberty of washing your sex.
You came to us from the gutter.
yes, some context of why Reva has such a chip on her shoulder and why they call her Reva more often than third sister. If I'm right that youngling we saw in the prologue was Reva, maybe after escaping the temple she spent some time on the run, that fear leading to anger, leading to hate, leading to suffering, and then out of that bitterness toward Obi-Wan, and out of desperation, she volunteered to hunt him down as an Inquisitor. Reva defies the Grand Inquisitor though by transmitting Obi-Wan's bounty to every bounty hunter. His mugshot reads, Wanted, Obi-Wan Kenobi, offenses high treason, reward upon capture, and I like how they used a Revenge of the Sith publicity photo of Ewan McGregor. One bounty hunter eats a giant rib with all the signs for Gungan snacks around. This actually might be a Kadu rib, Kadu being the riding mounts of the Gungans of Naboo. Remember, Kadu rib was listed on the menu at the diner in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale, and you can actually get a Kadu pork rib at Disney's Galaxy's Edge. The red neon sign behind it reads Swords, maybe a reference to Lucasfilm producer John Swartz. Now, I'm not a skincare aficionado, but I prefer my face to not look like I've been lost in the dunes of Tatooine. I want to take care of the moneymaker. Well, the fine folks at Geology have hooked me up with some skincare products that I have loved. Geology is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare company that creates simple whether you don't have skin now, and I just have on their percent trial. As Ben looks around the corner, another sign reads Chumo Threads. There was a Xiumu Wang, a Chinese film actor in the 40s and 50s, but I'm not sure if there's a connection there. Leia throws some shade at old man Ben.
If anyone asks, we're farmers from Tall, and you're my daughter.
Granddaughter, maybe.
What?
Nothing.
I mean, really, in the next 9 years, both of them are about to hit some massive age changes. Now, one of the bounty hunters is an LOM series droid, like 4LOM, who joined Bosk and Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back. But according to Deborah Chow, this guy is actually named One Jack. Leia asks,
I read that Jedi can make things float. Make me float.
What?
I want to float.
if you think about it, in The Last Jedi, Leia will finally pull off an impressive force-powered space float. Another pink neon sign translates to Jawa's Market.
Still
And then
weird,
on the
but
rooftop,
yeah,
Reva
it
looks
is
past a
good.
sign that reads Milk. Meanwhile, Leia gets spooked by Obi-Wan's face on the bounty alert. Another example of Reva's chaotic evil tactics making Obi-Wan's life hell. This chase heads to the rooftops where the bounty hunters fire on Ben as Reva parkours her way over to them.
Yeah,
Leia
that
tries
was
to jump away
impressive.
but falls short, losing her grip on the wire. And I love the inverse coloring of this moment. Leia in green falling into the red, Ben's face lit red, bat with a green smog backdrop. And Ben finally uses the Force on this series to catch her, a move that Cal Kestis actually does in Jedi Fallen Order to save Prof, revealing himself as a Jedi for the first time. And by the way, that sequel game, Jedi Survivor, is set 5 years after Fallen Order, which roughly sets it around the same time when this series takes place, maybe making it a bit more possible that Cal Kestis could show up on the show. The Orbish sign in this
I'd be
alley, by the way,
surprised.
translates to noodle, obviously a noodle bar, but also reflecting how Obi-Wan finally uses the powers of his noodle. And later in this alley, Reva scans Haja's noodle. But Haja saves him from that LOM droid and points him to the cargo port where an Orbish sign reads Mach Inc. is a machine incorporated. He says that shuttle will take them to the planet Mapuzo, confirming the translation of the Inquisitor table that I did from a trailer, Mapuzo being a deep cut location from the role-playing game. The fact that trailer footage shows that on the Inquisitor's screen means that they're going to chase them there, which is bad news for the people who want to help Obi-Wan there. And we'll see, maybe it's some other runaway Jedi, maybe Cal Kestis, maybe Ahsoka. There's quite a few of them still alive out there. The Great Inquisitor turns his spinning lightsaber on Flea's kidnapper character, who we learn is named Vect Nokru. This spinning effect is one of the more lethal aspects of the Inquisitor sabers, and yes, they can use this to fly. Leia bosses Ben around.
Now come on. What now?
Nothing, you just remind me of someone. She was fearless too, and stubborn.
Was your friend a Jedi too?
No, she was a leader.
I love it. So Obi-Wan compares Leia to her mother, Padme, a queen turned senator of Naboo, a leader. But he may also be thinking of his lost love, Satine. But really what I love most about this line is he answers whether or not she was a Jedi with no, she was a leader, which means Jedi, in his mind, should not be leaders. Which makes sense. After the Clone Wars, after Order 66, Obi-Wan probably feels quite a bit of regret that the Jedi got so involved in that military conflict, and that they never should have been generals in the Republic military. Moses Ingram is legit creepy as Reba.
Yeah, she is.
Come out to play! I love how the increasing red glow of her saber precedes her entrance into frame. This whole moment feeling very similar to Vader playing hide and seek with Luke in Return of the Jedi. She says she wants to take him to Vader, revealing...
Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know. He's alive, Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive.
So a few things here. First, I just love how Reva can sense Obi-Wan's sudden confusion upon hearing that Anakin survived. But second, how does Reva know that Vader and Anakin are the same person? This is supposed to be a secret known only to a few people, like Palpatine, Vader, Obi-Wan, Yoda. For Reva to know means she must have some deeper insight into Anakin than most others do. Perhaps as a youngling, she could have idolized Anakin Skywalker, and she was able to put it together that this new Sith on the scene was giving her the same kind of feels that Anakin did. I think ultimately this just gives us an insight to how smart Reva is, because after all, Thrawn was able to deduce that Anakin and Vader were the same person based off of a specific flight maneuver that Vader did that Thrawn knew that only Anakin Skywalker could do. Reva used her lightsaber to stab the Grand Inquisitor in the gut, but again, the Grand Inquisitor is guaranteed to survive. Considering he shows up years after this in Rebels, he might get that same kind of mod shop treatment that Thundercat gave Fennec Shand. Maybe they'll rush him to a back to tank. Either way, if Vader can survive immolation, Grandy can survive this. So, Obi-Wan, stunned to know Anakin is still alive, spirals.
Are you okay?
Anakin.
I think an ad is coming!
Yeah. I hate ads so much.
What a smash cut. We see the face of Hayden Christensen, his eyes now Sith red. In the back to tank, his breathing, the same sound effect of Vader's iconic breathing through his mask. So right off the bat, the first shot we see of Darth Vader on the show is not the iconic mask, it is the face of Hayden Christensen, making a promise to the viewers that Darth Vader on the show isn't just going to be James Earl Jones' voice coming through the mask, we're going to be spending a lot of time with this guy underneath the mask. Now while the back to tank is supposed to be a regenerative healing tank that he must reside in while not in his suit, this water doesn't look restorative in this moment. Visually, it looks like he is in boiling water, steaming with rage. And as we saw in the Book of Boba Fett, laying in these bacta tanks has a sensory deprivation meditative quality. It causes you to reflect on your unresolved issues. And that is what Vader's going through right now. And a cool little visual detail here, though it is hard to see, the gnarly scar is on his bald head, the same one on his head when Luke unmasks him at the end of Return of the Jedi. So in this moment, we do not yet know if Vader was just waking from a nightmare. Charles Soule's amazing 2017 comics show how he experiences them a lot, they are terrifying, and Obi-Wan factors heavily in them. But the editing at least implies that it was Obi-Wan speaking his name for the first time in 10 years that could have awakened this monster. Because this is, after all, the first time Ben has spoken the name Anakin on this series. Other characters have said it, like Owen and Bale, but not Ben. For these first 2 episodes, Ben has successfully resisted using the Force and letting his conscious mind drift back into the Jedi thinking. But now, that Jedi itch that the Grand Inquisitor warned of, the itch they cannot help, has gotten the best of Obi-Wan, and he made the mistake of finally opening his mind to his former Padawan as a living threat. And even the simplest, most forgivable thought crime has put a bullseye on him. That's all the stuff I love coming out of episode 2. Episode 3 is coming Wednesday of next week. So when that drops, Tommy and I will once again be doing our Wookiee Leaks after show, covering all the big questions coming out of it, with my breakdown coming out the next day on that Thursday. And the best way to support New Rockstars is to check out our merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com, including a new Obi-Wan Kenobi inspired shirt design. Looks amazing. And when you get one of these, you'll get the added option to write in a custom shout out that will appear at the bottom of our Obi-Wan Kenobi after shows Wookiee Leaks. So get on this. Best way to support us, newrockstarsmerch.com. So be sure to...
Cool. Well, guys, there you have it. That is my reaction to the Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 2 breakdown from New Rockstars. Subscribe to their channel. Help support them over there. They're at 3 million, which is impressive. So support them over there. They're doing amazing work over there, and I love watching these videos with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to this video. If you guys did, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of this video was. I would like to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below. Drop a like on the video for your boy. Hit the subscribe button to be part of the community. And hit bell notifications so you guys know when I shall post next. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.